I absolutely did not ever enroll in a choir class. That was not. I did take a dance class.
Oh, okay.
Um, Choir is not a thing that I did.
Mm, mm. From the brief time that we've been chatting, I feel like you would have excelled in it. I'm just going to say that. I'm just throwing that out there. I get those vibes that you would have kicked its butt, but. Welcome, everybody, to Casting for Two. The podcast is always hosted by me, Chris. Welcome, everybody, to episode 566. Oh, no, I just realized what happens when the podcast reaches episode 666. I might skip that episode. I'm not going to lie. Maybe I'll just have some whatever. But we're not there yet. I'm 100 away. And I have a wonderful guest here, and I shouldn't be thinking about that stuff, okay? I should be thinking about, where can I get some awesome swag for the podcast, join the Discord server, or, find whatever services the podcast is available on. Where can I do that? Castingfor2.com is the perfect place to do that, as well as follow me on all the socials. Castingfor2.com, your one-stop shop to everything that is the podcast. But yes, welcome everybody. I really enjoyed this episode. My chat, Brianne Nord-Stewart is here, and just a lovely chat, wonderful chat. Filmmaker, director, writer, producer, just everything. And we were talking about the Lifetime movie that she directed, I Am Octomom, the story of Octomom. And we just had just a lovely time. And I'm done talking, okay, because I want you all to hear this episode. All right, so everybody sit back, relax, and Brianne, take it away.
Hey. I just came on early so I didn't forget and become late. So
right.
If you need more time.
No, honestly, you are saving me right now because I I moved into a neighborhood. My girlfriend and I, we got a house, and I've become fascinated with what the neighbors are doing. So, I have a dog that started barking. I'm like, why is she barking? And I look on the security cam, and this kid is pulling weeds and throwing them into the street, while another person, I don't know who, is picking them up. And if I didn't see that you joined the Zoom room, I would have been just sitting there watching this for another 20 minutes.
Okay, so we're on the same page.
Yes.
We operate similarly, it sounds like.
I'm not a nosy person. I like to be a private person. Just keep me out of it. But ever since moving into this, this neighborhood, I've become nosy. I'm like, what are they up to?
What city are you in?
I'm in San Antonio, Texas.
Okay.
Yeah. It's okay. It's no Vancouver. I'll just say that.
Oh yeah. I mean, I've never been. That's why I was like, nothing to add. Don't know.
You're not missing much. People are hateful here. That's about it. Yeah. Which goes right into what I wanted to say. Two things. I love that the promo photo I get of you, you're getting bit by a dachshund.
Yes.
And I said, yeah, I'm already sold. Yes, I don't care what you've done in your life. I'm sold. I'm in. Doesn't matter. But I also saw that you went to Victoria School of Performing Arts.
In Edmonton.
Edmonton. Okay. All right. Different
Do you have
Victoria.
one of those in San Antonio?
No, but I have ties to Victoria, BC.
Okay, got it.
That's why I was like, Victoria, yay!
Yeah. There's a lot of things in Canada named after Queen Victoria.
Right.
The city being one of them.
Yeah.
And also I went to university for a year on exchange in Melbourne, Australia. And that college was also called Victorian College of the Arts.
It's like you can't get rid of it.
Also part of the British Empire.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
But I mean, look. So I am not from here. I am from Oregon. I'm a Pacific Northwesterner. And yeah, I went to film school up in Victoria, so I love Canada. I love BC. I still have friends there, and so yeah, I'm very pro Canada down here.
What's the name of the program you went to?
So it was one thing, and then it became a whole other. So when I went to it, oh my gosh. Pacific not Design Academy. That was the other school. Pacific Film and Multimedia Academy. I did it. Yeah. Yes. Okay. It was just, when I was looking at film schools, that one really jumped at me because it was the only film school I saw that had like a full-blown studio. And I was just sold. And they had like real equipment. I not to be like, I know everything and blah blah blah. But when I see stuff that okay, you got out of a Best Buy, I'm not impressed. Not to be mean, I'm just not impressed. And this was back in 2008. So, yeah, sure, camera out of Best Buy, yeah, it's probably top notch, whatever. But back then, I'm like, no, I don't let it be nice. And I actually got to shoot on film for a day, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I as well made a couple films on film, and I also edited the film on film.
Wow. Okay, and you,
which was wild,
right? Okay, so I've never edited film, but yeah. I did do my time as a projectionist, and I would build movies, so that was kind of fun.
Okay, wow, cool.
Yes, so I mean, all roads lead back to film. Have you encountered crazy sound people in your career?
I think sound folks are often very passionate.
Yes.
About a particular thing.
Yes.
There are different, there are folks who get into it because usually, like, even on low budget projects, usually the sound person is the person who's like the most well paid.
Yes.
Because they're a technician who is not like bringing. Not to say that sound recording isn't an art, but it's very technical. Like, to do it well is very technical. And the way you go about capturing that sound, I think perhaps it's not a role that I have actually ever really done. So perhaps there is an art to it as well. But I think it's it attracts folks who usually are pretty content to be a fly on the wall. And usually the best sound folks are a fly on the wall because like they're the people that you forget are there.
Right.
Not in a bad way, just in they're ready. You're not waiting for them. They're not slowing the production down.
Right.
When you get to the edit, you're not hearing from the editor, oh, there's an issue with sound. Right. Or we have to ADR the whole movie. Like, it's a very underappreciated for outsiders. I don't think outsiders really appreciate the importance of it because you can have a film that the video quality could be not great, but the sound has to be excellent.
Right. Yeah. And that's kind of, where I was at, I was, but hearing you say that, I'm like, yeah, that makes sense, because I feel like, I don't go looking for the tea. Okay. The tea finds me. I hear all the hot goss, and
Yes.
people just talk around me, and I'm like, okay, so now I know this. Okay. And it's not my fault. I'm just living my life, okay, people. But
well,
yeah.
and you learn. I mean, you can learn a lot by being the sound person.
Mm-hmm.
I think on a film set, you really know what's happening where because of those microphones.
Right? Yeah. It's I don't know. I've been having a kick doing it. I've been having fun doing it. Just because I think of my film teacher, and it's just, I don't know, he was eccentric, and I'm just like, okay, I just don't want to be that eccentric, but he was fun, he was passionate. Well, there's nothing wrong with that.
And that's interesting, just from like a storytelling perspective. Like in the Lifetime movie I Was Octomom, which I directed, there's a scene where they're wrapping presents.
Yeah.
So anything where the actors are doing something like that, even if they were eating a bunch, or like anything where they're moving things that are going to make noise, is kind of a nightmare for the sound person.
Yeah.
And usually they're going to say, hey, can we do one where they don't make all that noise?
Right. And you're just like, yeah, we'll bring in the silent wrapping paper. We got you.
Well, exactly. And for me, when I hear, like, I can watch a movie and I know what sound has been recorded after the fact, or I know when the audio, the dialogue has been recorded after the fact, if they haven't put back in some of those sounds. But they just want to, they really want to make sure you have the cleanest sound possible. Right. And, good on them. Because sometimes you might really need it. But sometimes a scene where they're wrapping presents should sound like when they're wrapping presents.
Right. It's just like, we just kind of need it to sound like how it is. Okay. And moving on. No, I get it. I feel like it's, I never sought to be an audio person. It just kind of fell that way. I just kind of, I took what I learned in film, and I was like, I could probably apply some of this to podcasting. We'll see. And then that's just where I've been for like over 10 years. So
that's awesome.
And so I love finding people's origins, and I have so many questions about the Octomom, but we'll get there. I'm just like her specific. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just curious. When did you get bit by the film bug?
Well, I was we had a camcorder in my house, so we were, like filming, like playing with Barbies and stuff. And when the Blair Witch Project came out, my friends and I made the Blair Bitch Project, which is, I don't know, we just said fuck a lot and looked scared when it was dark outside. So I don't know that really was when, but then at Victoria School of Performing and Visual Arts, which you mentioned, it's a public school in Edmonton, but there's various forms of like different theater classes you can take. Like you can take a musical theater class, you can take a jazz choir class, you can take a theater directing class, you can take a video class, like photography. I developed my own photographs in high school.
Ooh, okay.
So when I was there, I was taking video, and a classmate who was a year older than me was applying and going to go to film school. And that was when I was like, wait, that's an option. And I mean, I would say once I got into high school and we were doing the film class and we were actually had to like write scripts and we were making movies, not just like video art.
Right.
Then it was pretty clear to me that I had a very specific point of view, and a good handle on it, I guess. And just thought, well, here's a way for me to never have to settle on just one thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like I otherwise, like, I loved science and I thought I was going to become a doctor. But I was like, well, I can make shows about doctors.
Yeah, that's just as good.
I can make shows about a lot of different things.
Yeah.
And then I can learn about all these different things. And now I'm honestly like, I'm a very capable person who is good at a lot of things, but there's nothing quite like directing that I'm like that interested in, or passionate about.
Yeah. But no, the scare bitch too. That's not going to happen. That's not happening.
I don't think so.
All right.
I don't think we could afford my childhood best friend's rates.
Oh, all right. Fair enough. No, and the other thing I was thinking, I was like, okay, so jazz choir was filled up. That's why you chose your path.
I absolutely did not ever enroll in a choir class. That was not. I did take a dance class.
Oh, okay.
Choir is not a thing that I did.
From the brief time that we've been chatting, I feel like you would have excelled in it. That's I'm just going to say that. I'm just throwing that out there. I get those vibes that you would have kicked its butt, but do
you send voice memos? Are you a voice memo sender?
I can be.
I will, depending on who the people are, will send voice memos. And for the lucky few, they will occasionally get one of me singing.
Oh.
But it is more to endear and bring a smile to someone's face, and not because it's good.
Right.
More because it's charming.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Nothing wrong with charming singing.
Yeah.
But I love that. I love all that and also the charming singing. But no, that's I love finding when people just get that. I can't imagine my life without film. I can't imagine film or without music. That's just like, what's the point? And I love that you were able to pivot into something that you have a grasp on as far as your voice goes. I love that.
Thank you.
When did it take you a long time to realize, okay, this is my voice, this is how I want to present myself film wise?
That's a great question.
Thank you.
I think no. What I think has taken me a while is like, or at least what took me a while was actually understanding that I did have a very distinct voice, because it wasn't really top of my mind. Like, when I approach filmmaking and approach how I'm making decisions and where I'm putting the camera, it's not that conscious for me of how I am doing it. It's just, to me, it's just like, well, this is where the camera goes.
Yeah.
Why would it go anywhere else? It goes here. Like, I am a very collaborative person, and I ultimately want to make the best film and make sure the needs of various departments are being met. And if I can like facilitate or kind of adjust to really solve a problem for somebody else while also still like holding the integrity of the story and the point of view, I will. But I wasn't intentionally working on it. It just is the way that it is.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. I totally get that. I was sitting here and I was looking at the projects, and I was just kind of wondering, and I might be my brain stopped working seconds ago, so I apologize. No, I might be putting this on you, but I'm not. I'm just curious. When it comes to, like your projects and the next project and the next project, do you ever have a goal for yourself?
Well, yes, and I think sometimes they can also change. And it depends on what level of the goal is. You know, like um I can be like, yeah, like currently I would really love to be directing episodic television. So I'm like, I got to get an episode of a procedural. Like that's more of an immediate goal that I have. And then there's also like, oh, well, I would love to be a producing director of a show, or I would love to sell a show, or, you know, get me in that Academy Award room and give me a trophy. Like that'd be a great goal.
Yeah.
So yeah, it depends on how wide my scope is when I'm looking at it. And it's good to try to like break it down into steps as well. So, you know, because small goals are more achievable. And if you like have the habit of going towards that, you know, I mean, when I was graduating university, I was like, oh, my student film is going to win the Student Academy Award. It wasn't even eligible. It did go on to win a bunch of awards, and it was bought by broadcasters all over the world, which had not been a goal of mine. I didn't even know that was a thing that could happen. So I was like, well, I didn't win an Academy Award for it. But also, how many people's student short films make them a bunch of money?
Yeah. I feel like that was the competition called you and was like, you're it's not eligible, so don't worry, don't do it. And then they win because they didn't want to compete against you.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows?
I like to think that, you know, just like, you know, of course I would have won, but they sabotaged me. So anyway.
Oh my gosh.
That's not crazy, right?
I don't, whether for better or worse, thinking people sabotaged me is not in the top 5 of my reasons that I would go to for something not happening.
Yeah. That's probably healthier. Yeah. No, what were you gonna say?
I don't know. I have a button that says the critics in your head are lying to you.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I don't know that all of those top 5 reasons are healthier than that, but
is the biggest competition and I'm not, you know, like quote unquote the voices in your head? Is it like you who's your biggest competition? Stopping you from doing things or anything like that?
I think that's probably like the first hurdle for anyone, you know, like you just have to do the thing and put yourself out there. And like the resilience in the film and television world, like resilience, most people are not making it big with the first project that they ever make. Like so many people have just sort of stuck it out. And that moment when all the stars align to get those opportunities just take longer than for other people.
Yeah.
What was the question?
I don't even, you know, I was
competition.
I don't even, yeah, no. Are you your biggest like opponent? Like, do you tend to get into your head when it comes time to a project or
I'm absolutely, I mean, I'm definitely in my head. Once I have the project, like once it's mine, like getting this TV movie, once it's mine, I am full speed ahead. I am not getting in my way whatsoever. I'm like, yeah, I have the job and now I will go do my job.
Yeah.
There are hopefully there's no one like competing with you, well, as me, the director, once you are on set. There are challenges for sure, but I don't think I'm competing with anyone once I'm there.
Yeah. You know, I only ask because I mean I'm sure I do it, But I also have a lot of friends that just get in their head. They're like, oh, I can't do this, or this is going to be hard. I can't do this, and I'm just like, I mean, sure, I get there, but sometimes you just have to do it. But I know it's easier said than done, but.
Well, for me, I totally know what you're talking about. For me, I am definitely in my way when it comes to writing.
Okay.
Writing to me is, I want to be doing it already. And I want it to be good already. Like I'm thinking about the end result. I'm not thinking about all those tiny things. Like I'm not thinking about, okay, we'll just write 5 bad pages a day, even though I'll be like, Brianne, just write 5 bad pages today.
Right.
You can make them good later, but you have to write them today. Like that for me is absolutely a struggle. But when it comes to directing, like you could say, hey, Brianne, this director who's been shooting for 5 days is now gone and we need somebody to show up. And I would show up and look at the scene and be like, okay, great. This is what we're doing.
Yeah.
Like I would feel very confident to get on board and assume that role. When it comes to directing and most things in life, I'm like, yeah, I deserve to be in the room. There's no reason I shouldn't be in this room.
Yeah.
I don't have that. And, when I have won an award, I'm like, yeah, of course I should win this award.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm not like, oh, I can't believe I won. Like,
right.
I know that I may not have won, and it's up to whoever the jury, whether they think I should win. But I've never been like, oh, I can't believe it, or I didn't think I was worth it, or whatever.
I think that's very healthy. Having self-worth and know what you bring. I've been in positions where I'm just like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing here. And I don't know what I'm offering, and it sucks. It sucks, but it's like, okay, hi. So.
Well, I think it also depends on the room you're in and who you're with.
Yeah.
Because if you're in a room with people who have said, oh, we want your ideas, and you get there and they just keep telling you no and not liking your ideas, then it's like, well, why did you ask me to be here if you don't want what I have to offer?
Right.
Like, I think that's fair for sure.
Yeah.
Oh man, the arts and just self-employment in general is such a mental. I think all people in the film industry are very likely neurodivergent.
Yes. Yes. Phil, there's, if you crack open the brain and study it, we're all going to have the same, same something in there. So that makes sense. I get that.
Yeah.
And you were talking about coming in, directing, and then I mentioned the Octomom. You did a Lifetime movie. I was Octomom. Is it Lifetime in Canada still, or is it something else? Okay, cool. I forgot the channels up there. But whatever. Anyway, it's all the same.
Yes.
What is it? I'm trying to think again. Brain stopped working. Trying to think of the right words to say, because is it? Are there challenges of doing a story about the person with the person there? Well, not like there every day, but there was involvement from the person.
I think it probably depends on. I personally did not have any challenges with Natalie Sullivan, the real person, being involved. In fact, I think the only way this movie or a movie about her should be told is with her involvement.
Yeah.
There are practical challenges when it comes. So she's an executive producer on the film. And she did many, many, many hours of, just interviewing and chatting with the writer Kelly Fullerton to try and learn about her story and how it felt for her and her point of view and all of those things. And then the writer Kelly has to take all of that and try to be true to her story in an 87-minute format.
Yeah. Yeah.
That fits into the number of acts for the commercial breaks, and also with the like production constraints of budget.
Mm-hmm.
So like, for example, in this film, you know, she has toddlers, or she has 8 kids. And in our film, in our world, there's the timeline where those 8 children, there's like when she's pregnant with the 8 children, there's like when they're babies, and then there is when they're toddlers.
Yeah.
So there's essentially the babies and the toddlers, and then there's for her older 6 children, there's also there was 2 sets of actors for those kids.
Mm-hmm.
In her story, there is 16 years of these octuplets being alive. And, you know, we're making movie magic. There's not, you know, 16 sets of these octuplets. So the challenge there with somebody who, or just there's an educating process, I think. I was not involved with this part of the development. I came on once the script was already written, but you are essentially educating a person to say, well, here's why we can't do it the exact way that it happened. Right. Or here's why we're going to make this scene happen in this house instead of that house, or whatever. Those types of things.
Here's why we can't unwrap the gifts. There's too many, and there are sound people, their eardrums are going to explode. So it'll be fine.
Yeah. Well, for example, she had cats.
Oh,
and the cats were a big part of her life. They're family members, but we do not have cats.
Yeah.
That was a bridge too far for the film. Like practically not. No.
Yeah. Yeah. You can't. Yeah, you can't control a cat. I get it. Plus, I'm deadly allergic to cats, so yeah, no, I don't. Right. No offense, cats. I just can't have you around. You know.
Yeah. Imagine trying to have 8 toddlers, 6 children, and multiple cats do the same thing, exactly the same over and over and over again.
I can't even imagine any one of those. So that's just nuts to me. Like, I can't do it. Well, and then so. One thing I love asking people, and I'm very curious what you're going to say. And there's never a right or wrong answer. To you, what makes a good character to watch?
This is also a great question. Well, the simplest answer to me, I would say, is somebody who is dynamic. But you want a character who is flawed and, you know, is having a hard time overcoming something, and that flaw is like getting in the way, right? There's some lesson, which is like, we all might have to learn the same lesson over and over again.
Yeah.
I personally like watching characters that I might not really know in real life and don't know much about. Like, I want, show me a story about something I don't know. And show me a story that we don't hear that often. That excites me. And also I want, even like an antagonist, there should be something real that they need to have the why. Why are they the way they are? That's what I want to know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And why, why is their story this way? Why are they making these choices? Why is this what they're doing?
Right. Yeah. I feel that way a lot towards, a lot of movies in general, but for me, it really comes out in like scary movies. Like, why is this happening now? What is making this happen. And if a movie can explain how, I'm so happy about it. It's just like, oh, it's just a random thing that happens. I'm like, okay, all right,
yes.
whatever.
Right.
But I just like when, there's a domino effect. Okay. That's cool.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, and that's good writing. Like,
yeah.
if this, when presented with this situation, what is the active choice you're going to make?
Yeah.
And then what is like the consequence?
Right.
And how is every choice you make going to make it worse for you?
You're right.
I mean, specifically in a comedy.
Yeah.
And specifically in horror. Comedy and horror, they're very similar formats, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I love that. I love that. And for people at home who would like to keep up with you online, be up to date with the projects that you're doing, you know what? Hey, you know what? Motivate you to write 5 crappy pages, whatever it is.
Who wants to be like, hey, Brianne, how's your 5 pages?
Yeah, how's the five crappy pages going? Where can they do all that?
So I'm on Instagram. So my name is Brianne Nord-Stewart. I'm on Instagram at B-Nord-Stewart, no hyphen. And on YouTube is youtube.com/BrianneNS. And I think Vimeo is B-Nord-Stewart.
There we go.
Those are really the,
Shout out to Vimeo. People don't shout out Vimeo enough on this podcast. Seriously, I'm like, man, come on, filmmakers, get on Vimeo. If I don't know.
It's such a conundrum, the two of them, and I'm often like, well, which one do I post this on, or do I do it on both? And I don't know. Somebody's got the answer for that. I'm not sure what it is.
Before I let you go, I have to ask you, because there was a Canadian feature that my film school owner bragged about a lot, that it was shown all through Canada, and even some of my classmates saw this when they were kids. And I'm just curious if you happen to see it. It was a short film called Lost in the Woods, and it was about a kid who got lost in the woods. That was it. And he made a shit ton of money off of it.
The filmmaker did?
Yes.
This is not looking familiar.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I knew he was a big talker, but
wait. All that's coming up is something in 2024.
Oh yeah, no, this is way older. So it was something that he did probably in the 80s, but people kept seeing it in the 80s, 90s, the early aughts, and I'm just like, really? Like, people were showing
this is the one?
Yeah, really? Like, they're showing this thing? That's gonna get cut out. I was just curious because I never talked to enough Canadian filmmakers, and I was just wondering.
No, but you should look up a short called The Log Driver's Waltz.
Log Driver's Waltz. Okay, I will look that up.
That is very, very, very Canadian.
Oh, I love it. I'm already in.
Yeah.
I love it. But Brianne, thank you so much for chatting with me. Anytime you want to come back, open invitation.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. I'll let you go. You have a wonderful rest of your day, and keep staying safe and healthy, all right?
You as well.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
And I'm curious how the neighbor situation, the weeds, what's going to happen with those weeds?
I don't see them. They're not out there, so I guess, I don't know. It was just very weird. They didn't look happy, so,
Oh, good.
Whatever. Well, neighbors, who needs them?
Okay.
That's
Have a good afternoon.
Thank you. You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.